What we wanted to do today was talk a little bit about how you can actively grow your audience or grow your Facebook or your social media reach, or really your marketing as a whole. Grow it outside of the current circles that you're in. What I find happens very often with my clients is that we tend to talk a little bit in a vacuum, or they tend to talk a little bit in a vacuum. This happens to me too, especially if we're not being intentional about growing your business and intentional about getting out there in front of new people. What happens is we get so caught up in maybe like creating content or going live or trying to figure out our next product or offer. We continuously talk to the same people, and that's great. There's a certain amount of that has to happen in your business, right? We have to nurture our existing audience. We have to keep encouraging and working with those people that are already in the fold. But we always want to be bringing in new people into our business as well. We always want to be getting in front of new eyeballs every day, people who are coming on board, people who have never heard of us before, people who still may potentially want to work with us now, and if not now, in the future. And don't forget that even though this time is very uncertain and business is definitely changed, people are a little bit shy in terms of investing in big programs and maybe committing to something longer term that otherwise 3 weeks ago they may have done. Remember that in your marketing, but also remember that we can sow the seeds and do a lot of groundwork, establish a lot of trust with people now, while people are at home, while we have their attention, while they are searching for content. We can be the people to help them with that. We can still help them solve their problems, maybe not in the same way as we had done before, but in a different way. And we can absolutely still be of service to people even without offering any monetary exchange there. Okay, so what I wanted to talk today about was getting intentional in growing your business, getting intentional in growing outside of those parameters that we are in already. Because again, what we hear is, I don't want to post on Facebook. It's not working. It's not working when I post on Instagram. Nobody can hear me, right? So let's break this down. There are 3 different ways of attracting or getting in front of a new audience, right? There are only 3. Now, within those 3, there are many, but essentially there are 3 different methods. The first one is leveraging other people's audiences. The second way is by search. Okay, if people are actively searching. And the third way is paid advertising. So I wanted to dig into each one of those in detail, and you can see that each one of these requires a different amount of investment, be that either time investment or financial investment, right? And they have varying degrees of how quickly they're going to work also, right? So let's start with let me start with the number 2 on my list, which was SEO or search engine optimization. Now, this one can actually be one of the most organic ways, the freest way if you want, and it is in terms of financial investment, but it does require a little bit of knowledge and work, and you have to put in a little bit of effort up front, right? But the beauty of SEO is that when it's done correctly, it will continue to work for you away in the background. So SEO, for those people who don't know what I'm talking about, is search engine optimization. So the whole idea behind this is that people are actually out searching for your content. They're searching for you as the solution. They may not know it's you, but they are searching to the solution. And some platform, a search engine, will present them with maybe a piece of content or something that you've posted on your website, or maybe something, if depending on the search engine that they're using, will present them you as the solution, or your content as the solution. So you have a couple of different search platforms that you can utilize. So the biggest one obviously is Google. And if you're a blogger or if you have a blog, this is what you would be ideally positioning your products positioning your content to appear in a search engine optimization in Google, right? So you use keywords, you use key phrases that people are actively searching for, and you put that into your content, right? So that is a whole strategy all by itself. If you sell products, you perhaps use the search engine of a platform like Etsy, if you use the Etsy platform. And even some services can be available on there, like restoration and retouching and all of that. Those sorts of things are also available on Etsy, and that's a search engine. People are actually typing in a problem that they're having, or they're trying to find a specific solution. The same thing goes for Pinterest, right? When people don't know about Pinterest quite often is that Pinterest is a big search engine. People use Pinterest to actively search for solutions that they're looking for. They're typing in the search box specific things that they're looking for, and then if your pins come up which link back to your blog or link back to articles on your website, that is also a search engine, right? So we're using the power of search. And also the final one I wanted to talk about, actually there's two more. And the second to last one is hashtags on Instagram, right? People actually use Instagram. They follow certain hashtags for a specific thing that they're looking for. So if you're using that particular hashtag, there's a chance that people will find you. That's why we use hashtags, because people will find you because they're searching for you as the solution to your problem. And then the final one then is YouTube. YouTube is a massive search engine, and people are actively looking for solutions on YouTube. And so if you have videos posted on there, then you could absolutely come up as the solution to the problem, right? So those are all within search. So utilizing and leverage search. Now, some of the things we talked about there were your blog, your YouTube, your Pinterest, your Instagram hashtags, and something like Etsy or these other platforms that are available. Now, if you have never done search engine optimization, or you don't have any content of your own out there, I would suggest that you hurry up and get some started on that, because that is one of the first places, the only place that you actually can own online, right? It is your own little piece of the internet when you have your own blog. But it will take a while to build up that. There is a little bit of specialist knowledge involved with SEO, right? It isn't something that people know off the bat, but if you can learn it, it is fairly straightforward. There are lots of tutorials and lots of people, lots of experts out there. So I would be interested to know if anybody who is watching, if they already use SEO or search engine, or if that's part of their strategy. And I'll get to the strategy in a minute, because I feel like we should be using a combination of all of these. But if there is anybody watching, I would love to hear from you. Okay, so the second way then that is actually the biggest, and it's probably the easiest way that you can get in front of new eyeballs and get in front of get in front of new people, right? New to your content. And that is by leveraging other people's platforms. So what you want to do in this instance is go to somebody that has already got an existing platform, and you're either through a joint venture or through some sort of an arrangement, you're getting in front of their audience. Now, these can be so many different varieties, right? So you could use referrals, right? You could have a referral program where actually other clients of yours, and I know many service-based entrepreneurs, this is already how they utilize their or how they get their clients, right? That people who have already used their services refer other people to them because they've been so pleased with the results that they've gotten. So a lot of people will do that as a strategy. And if you have had a large number of clients in the past, it's absolutely important that you can reach out to them tell them about what you're offering, tell them what your new offers are in this particular time, and specifically ask for the referrals. Specifically ask them, do they know of anybody that needs your services, right? So that's the first one. Then there are all of the social media ways that we can get in front of other people's audiences. So things like doing an Instagram takeover, that's a huge one. So you're utilizing somebody else's Instagram live platform or Instagram stories platform to get in front of their audience, right? This is becoming really popular, and it is a very powerful way to get in front of thousands of people through doing nothing yourself other than some sort of an arrangement that you've come to with the other person. Equally, that could be being a guest on a podcast, somebody else's podcast, right? You're utilizing their audience. And they're, you're always looking for people that are aligned to the same audience that you have. Obviously, there's no point in being on Vets Weekly if you're like a marketing strategist, right? So we want to have that alignment there. And also in that same vein, being a guest expert on a blog, for the longest time, guest posting was very useful, but doing PR like that in specific aligned publications, they are also very useful. It could even just be something as simple as a Facebook Live interview, or being a guest expert in a Facebook group, or even in a paid group, And so all of these things really require you to pitch yourself, pitch your products, and pitch your services in that sort of way. Pitch maybe a particular idea. These require a little bit more work, and they require a little bit more kind of gumption to kind of get up there and do it, right? Because you're putting yourself out there, you're going to face that rejection. So it is definitely a second level visibility strategy, but it's definitely a strategy that can be used, right? And it can be done very fast. Equally, when you get onto one of these, or if you wanted to get in front of one of these, these online summits, these virtual summits that people put together, or a bundle offer where you can kind of create a product. Those are all things. You're leveraging somebody else's list. You're leveraging somebody else's platform to get in front of a bigger audience. And of course, one of the easiest and the most straightforward ways to get in front of somebody else's audience is by actually being of help in a Facebook group that some other person has put together, right? So there are a lot of rules around how you do this. And to be honest, most of the groups that are worth commenting on have very strict rules. But they're not rules in a bad way. They're not rules that need to be circumvented in any regard. They're rules that are put there for the benefit of everybody together. And so play by the rules, be respectful of the person who's put together the group already, and post in those days that are appropriate with the appropriate things. The biggest thing that you can do without just posting all over the place is to actually add value and to come along and answer questions and be of service. This is the best way that you can actually position yourself as an expert. Not to just blast out your message, but to be of service. Hey, Laura, thank you for joining me live. Awesome. Okay, so you can catch the replay, and I see Sam's watching too. Awesome. I love it. Thank you. But yeah, so Facebook groups and being active in Facebook groups is another strategy that you can use, and that is actually open and available to everybody right this second. Like, we could just jump off this call and get in there into at least 3 or 5 groups and start interacting, commenting, being of service in those groups, right? Make sure the groups that you're active in are places that your ideal client is in. And if you don't know who your ideal client is, please let me know, and I will, if you drop a link in the or ask in the comments, I'll send you through my ideal client exercise and a video to that, because it's super, super important, and all of your marketing is based on that, right? So far we've talked about search, and then we've talked about other people's audiences. And I do believe that you should have a combination of both of those. Now, I don't think you should do all of them. This is why, being specific to your own business is super, super important. And I take my clients and people who work with me through a process of figuring out these strategies, these top level. So these are kind of like top of the funnel strategies that we can use that are specific for your business and that are going to work best for your business based on a whole bunch of factors, right? But basically you can have some combination of one or either of those. And then the third way, of course, is paid advertising, right? Now, paid advertising is also something that is challenging for people to jump into in terms of knowledge, right? There's a big steep learning curve with Facebook ads or YouTube ads or even like Insta or Twitter ads, right? There's a steep learning curve with those, and it's not something that I suggest as a very base strategy. It's something that is a little bit more advanced, and actually, unless you're very into it, I would say something that you could outsource, and that would be of value. That would probably be the easiest and best thing. But it is there, and that's the third option, to get in front of new eyeballs. Absolutely, there is strategy behind that, how you do it, where you lead people to. It's not just a matter of putting up a paid ad. But within that, lies a lot of nuance, but it's there as a strategy. And of course, you've got Pinterest ads and all of that. So those are the three ways of getting in front of new eyeballs. And I don't want you to overcomplicate it and start to think, okay, all of the reasons why you can't do it. And if there's something that I'm forgetting, I would love if you would let me know. There are so many different ways to get in front of other people's audiences, for example. And it all comes down to building those relationships with people. And so now is as good a time as any to reach out to people and ask them how they're doing and ask them, can you be of help? And maybe your services are exactly what they need in their group. Maybe that is a good, you're helping them, you're helping their people out, and people are getting to see you in a new group as well. The main thing is to always be adding value and to be of service wherever you go with any of this stuff, right? It doesn't matter. The change of non-sleazy marketing hasn't changed, right? The basis of all of that. This is, I truly heartily believe that this is the way forward. And I think given everything that we're going through right now, it's only going to get better in that regard, because there is no time for the sleazy marketer anymore, right? So let's think about that. I would love to know your comments. If you have any or questions, feel free to let me know in the comments here, and I'll come back and answer any questions. And while I have you on here, I do want to let you know about my latest offer that I am doing because of the situation that's happening right now. That people's strategies are having to change, and people are having to adapt and pivot and change course from where they were at before. Maybe the program that you were going to launch doesn't work right now anymore in this current situation. Maybe your content is out of line. Maybe your strategy never even existed, and now you're really feeling the pressure that you need to have some form of a specific, consistent strategy to get in front of new eyeballs, to get that trust even developed even further with your existing people, right? So in order to allow you to do that, I am offering a super laser focused strategy session for only $100. I typically have never offered single sessions before unless they were an intensive, and have never done hour sessions before. But I've gotten it down pat now so that we can get very focused. Before you come to me, you do some pre-work, you answer some questions, and so we get straight to hit the ground running whenever you get on the call. It's a 1-hour session, and at the end of the session, not only do you walk away with the recording of all of the things that we've talked about, all of the strategy that we have discussed, but I will actually put together a very simple marketing plan for you for attracting your dream client, whatever it is that your goal is that you want to reach over the next quarter. We'll work on the math if that's what's keeping you stuck. We'll work on the mindset if it's there, right? But basically you will walk away with actually a marketing plan, and it's phenomenal value. I can't say it any more than that. And I only have a limited amount of that. I think I'll have to put a top on it before the end of this week. So jump on that if you want the link. I'll post it below, or you can feel free to just DM me and I will get that to you. And you can actually schedule a few of them. If you want to buy a few sessions, buy a few sessions. You know, you can use them as you go forward. But that's obviously why I can't keep it on there forever. So I will be coming up with some other new fun things as well. I'm reworking some of my offers. I had actually, which is funny, is that I had actually been working my offers again, reworking offers this year anyway. So yeah, stay tuned and see what's coming up, but jump on that strategy, because that's going to give you a really solid place to start and get going, and you know, just keep going out of the gate, keep moving forward, don't lose the momentum, and try not to get too much in your head about all of this. You know, the people who will survive this in terms of business are those people who are able to adapt and move quickly, like all things in entrepreneurship. You know, it's beauty about having this kind of a business, that we are agile and that we can react, you know, quickly and help and be of service. So that's all I have for you today. I hope, again, like I say, keep washing your hands, stay at home, stay safe, and share this video if you know of anybody that you think would benefit from it, or a group of people. That would really help me if you could do that. All right, awesome. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you all soon.